Hello guys and welcome back to the Heroes Hype Amateur Series. I am Gillyweed and joining me is Anna. Hello Anna.
Hi, Gilly. This is game 2 of the finals of the Heroes Hype Amateur Series. This week we just saw Wild Growth take on the Kappa Wolves. They obligingly picked characters that we thought fit really well with this theme of kind of this ravenous nature. And Wild Growth came out on top on Sky Temple. We're going into game 2 now.
Yes, you teams rock for taking our suggestions and making it fun for us to cast and fun for the viewers, hopefully as well. But they have already jumped into the draft. We're going to be on Dragonshire, and Kappa Wolves have first pick, first ban, with a ban on Tassadar.
Interesting. I haven't seen Tassadar banned in a while. I mean, Tassadar is a strong character, strong hero that you don't necessarily want to deal with, but generally not someone that people are very scared of right off the bat. So interesting. Do you know the rationale for that?
My guess would be that in mid, there's a lot of potential for ganking, especially with this sort of triangle of bushes that are on bottom, and it makes Tassadar a very good mid laner here on this map. He always has vision. You can tell when people are rotating, and so they might be going for something like a gank or something like that, and they just want to be able to not allow that, or they just don't want to have to deal with him on this map. But either way, they went ahead and, oh, I guess Wild Growth also banned Jaina. So they've said, we had Jaina last game, but nobody gets her this game.
Yeah, no more Jaina for us. Instead, the teams are going to opt for, Kappa Wolves is going to go for Sylvanas, which Sylvanas and Jaina, both super heavy damage dealers. Sylvanas really fun for her pushing ability on this map, so not a surprise there. And then Wild Growth following it up with Diablo and Tyrande. Tyrande, of course, being one of those strong 0.5 supports, as we call her, but having all sorts of things that can really make damage dealing fun. So I am assuming we're going to see some great damage out of Wild Growth as well.
Yeah.
Ooh, look what we get!
Ooh, and Uther Zagara. So that's pretty awesome. Zagara is so good right now, and especially on this map. This map has an amazing lane for pushing if you've got a good push comp, which Sylvanas and Zagara would qualify definitely in being a push comp because they are both specialists and strong in that regard. But I do want to mention that I love the Diablo Tyrande picks because I love them together. I love their synergy, especially when you have players who have played that particular combo before. You see the Diablo overpowering and the Tyrande having the stun there and ready, so that the minute they're set down, Tyrande has them stunned. And who better to follow up on somebody who is stunned and out of place than Illidan?
Wow, that's going to be a fun combo. And then Rhaegar on top of that. We know how great Rhaegar can be for keeping Illidan alive. Also for mobility. What other things do you think Rhaegar is going to do for this comp?
Well, mobility is great on this map, especially because you always want to be able to at least have one dragon, one of the shrines, to at least prevent the enemy team from picking up a Dragon Knight, if not grabbing it for yourself. So Rhaegar's going to be all about those heals. He's really great, always, I think, a first choice when you're picking an Illidan, so it's often you see them together picked like that, the Rhaegar Illidan. But I got so excited, I said Gan because I saw Kerrigan and Arthas!
Arthas?
The Kerrigan Arthas returns to us. It's been so long.
With Zagara too and Sylvanas. This is like Anna's faves comp.
Kappa Wolves are definitely pulling at your heartstrings a little bit.
A little bit. Well, who do we think the Wild Growth is going to finish out with? They've got a tank. They've got their 1.5 supports. Yeah. It's just going to be Vala. I mean, we don't have to waste our breath too much.
They could Tychus, but I think probably Vala. I don't know. Maybe they'll Falstad. We've seen them Falstad before, and it paid off for them. But definitely a damage dealer of some type.
Yeah, absolutely. And they are taking some time to think, so maybe they're looking for some counters to this interesting build that we've got from the Kappa Wolves.
Yeah, I think Kappa Wolves threw them for a loop a little bit, especially like a little bit with Kerrigan, but then Arthas too. It's like, okay, let's sit back. We've got a little bit of time. We've got some reserve time. Let's make sure that we're not exposing ourselves to any weaknesses here with this comp, because that could be very strong.
Yeah. Oh, they do go with the Vala, so we're vindicated. Phew. Good choice, though, I think. They really want someone who can do a ton of damage really fast, some burst, and especially with Kerrigan, who cannot get away very quickly and is not as tanky as she would like to be. Being able to kind of melt her down really quickly is going to be a big advantage. Also, dealing with Zagara is going to be interesting with this team. I think they've built themselves pretty well to do that. And also, Tyrande having kind of the owl for vision is a good match for Zagara in terms of vision. I wonder if maybe that was part of the motivation for Zagara, is being able to cover the map and creep, knowing where all of your enemies are. So really, this is fun. This is exactly what we asked for, Gilly, is these somewhat unique team comps that we can play with.
That's totally correct. We're very appreciative of that. I'm really excited to see what Kappa Wolves does with this comp and how Wild Growth will answer to it. I think one important aspect will be revolving around the creep. Creep, of course, providing vision, but then also gives Zagara a speed bonus on it, which is going to help her be able to escape that Illidan when he's trying to chase her. And so I think we'll see Wild Growth really trying to keep the creep tumors at bay. But Kappa Wolves trying to make sure that the map just is covered in creep. It'll give them vision. They'll know where the other team is trying to go for shrines, and that'll help them avoid them when they need to or engage when they need to.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm so excited. I like Sylvanas and Kerrigan together. I think that's going to be interesting. I'm going to enjoy watching those together. I'm not specifically for anything they could do together, but just
because you like them both so much.
Yeah, I guess I was trying to come up with a good defense, but there isn't really, you know. But just having those, like we saw Vala Jaina together, and we saw how much damage they could do that way, and it'll be interesting to see these other two kind of renowned damage dealers and whether they can melt faces the way we saw in the last game as well.
Yeah, something to note here is that we've really got sort of a standard, like, top tier. If we could have our dream picks for a game, we would pick this for Wild Growth. And then on the other side, we're seeing some really interesting, kind of crazy things happen. Of course, we used to see Arthas Kerrigan gank squads all the time in the meta, and so it's possible that we're going to see some new stuff emerge here, so it'll kind of be kind of a standard, very standard dream team versus the what are we going to see, what's going to happen here.
It looks like teams may have accidentally spawned with the wrong heroes, is what I'm seeing in the chat. Yep, looks like Jimmy is riding with Malfurion, so we're gonna have to redo the game. I'm not sure. We'll have to contact an admin on what this means for us.
I believe this would be a remake. But yeah, let's contact the admins.
Okay, looks like they are leaving.
Yeah, it's at this point it's bots versus it's all bots.
Okay. GG. Good game.
What a short one. So we'll get this remade, guys, and we'll be right back. But I mean, we're gonna stay here, so we'll be right back in the game. Just give us a couple minutes. Looks like Wild Growth getting a little excited about their team comp. They're like, this is so good, guys!
Well, I mean, we've said a whole bunch about this. I'm just so excited to watch them play together. But you're specifically talking about the Kerrigan Arthas gank squad being something that's kind of coming back. And I'm excited that at this point, we are in closed beta. we can look back on a pretty rich history of meta shifts and kind of know what we're looking for, what might be different now in terms of the patch. And it's nice to see those things resurge, if you will, come back and see if they still work. So I'm
Resurgence
excited.
of the meta.
Yeah, exactly. You got me. Resurging.
I was picking up what you're putting down.
Oh, thanks. You're smelling what I'm stepping in, as always, Gilly. I can count on you.
Why? Yeah, you know, I think a big reason why it was so big before was because at level 4, both of them also got Envenom. So the idea was that you could have Kerrigan jump on someone, pull them in, root them with the Arthas, and then drop both of the Envenoms on while they both did a lot of damage. Both of them do quite a bit of damage, especially with the Frozen Tempest from Arthas. But with the removal of Frozen Tempest from Arthas and the nerf to his heal at level 10 as Heroic Army of the Dead, it's interesting to me that they're going with Arthas. But we were actually told on an episode of Eye on the Storm that Arthas was going to be making a reappearance very soon.
Yeah, we did hear that. We heard that Arthas is going to be strong and we should look out. I'm not super clear on why, though. I mean, yes, he got some buffs, but do you think of anything that you think is particularly going to become useful that you can see, or is this a pro gamer secret that we have yet to see?
I think it's probably a pro gamer secret, and anything I could do would be speculation. You need to select, come to the lobby, please.
Okay, I'll join you in the lobby.
Please come join me here in this lobby.
Sure.
I think part of it is, although he doesn't have displacement like we've talked about, he does have a good route, but it is one that you have to land. He does have good peeling. You don't want to be standing in Frozen Tempest, especially when you're squishy. And so that was always the idea, is that you could kind of like push people away and kind of keep people where he wanted them to be. As for why he's coming back now, it's probably just changes to other heroes that has kind of brought his resurgence around versus an actual any change to him. And we see that a lot. We see people coming back in, like Nova. When Sylvanas came out, Nova instantly became like this cool thing, right? Because not only was Sylvanas there, who's very squishy, but we also saw Jaina, right? She was making more of an appearance, and who's better versus both of them than a sneaky person who can drop them in like a second?
Absolutely. Yeah, that is really interesting. It's fun to watch how the connections between heroes take time to kind of develop and react each time we get a new patch. So this will be really fun to watch. I wonder if we will see the Gang Squad or if we'll see something different. I don't know, but here we are on Dragonshire. Let's introduce our teams, then we'll tell you a little bit about the map. We have Psalm in blue on Kerrigan, Michael Udall on Sylvanas, Fam on Zagara, aka Face on Uther, and Solo Nazgul playing Arthas.
And that's going to be our Kappa Wolves. Meanwhile, people hanging out around the core, just having a good time over on the side of Wild Growth. We've got Jordo on the Illidan, Jimmy on the Rhaegar, Collusion on Diablo, Grim Reaper on Vala, and Blythehawk on Tyrande. There may come a day when I say Collusion's name correctly on the first try, but it is not this day.
Someday in the future. Yes, we do see a party lane in the making down here for Wild Growth, although they're staying behind their wall. We see 3 Kappa Wolves sitting here mid, 4 Kappa Wolves, including that Arthas Kerrigan gang squad, as well as Michael Udall and aka Face. Rhaegar was not falling for that. Jimmy is hanging out in the back, not wanting to be ganked. We have 3 now mid, but Vala's going to run back bottom. They would really like to do something down there, but they're kind of just following this gang squad around a little bit, being pushed back on the side of Wild Growth, while Zagara is laying all sorts of creep in the top lane and facing off with Illidan.
This is a 4-man gank squad, and this is a concerted one, you can tell. They are making a point to make sure they pick up all the minions, but still moving together as a group, trying to grab somebody out, being very aggressive. Everybody from Wild Growth really has had to stay back, constantly near the gates. And once again, we'll see that too, as here they come right back down to bottom.
Yeah, keeping the pressure on to the point where Wild Growth has not, like you said, wanted to extend it all. They will continue not extending, and it looks like the bottom shrine will be picked up by Uther. Zagara is also up here by this top shrine, and unless Illidan does something about it, they will activate the ability to grab the Dragon Knight right now. Rhaegar is the only one in mid, but with this 4-man gank squad, they can get up there pretty carefully. It's just a matter of making sure the shrine don't get stolen in the meantime. Looks like Arthas Kerrigan, that gank squad is going to go up toward the mid, and Rhaegar is not going to be able to do much against both of them. Arthas is clear to take the Dragon Knight if he wants to, and it looks like he will begin channeling now.
That is a very quick Dragon Knight. But you saw already the gank squad doing work, took out the Diablo even, who was very tanky, but between the stuns and the damage coming out, it was just too much. He could not get away, and he was the first one to drop. There was a Sylvanas pickup, and remember, the early Dragon Knight is so easily killed. They're probably not too concerned. They may lose this tower here, but overall, he is going down pretty quickly. The Dragon Knight, of course, scales over time, but Zagara is already dealing a lot of damage to the structures up top as well.
Yeah, and interesting, Solo Nazgul doing a really good job of just kind of kiting and feinting like he's going to run away, and then not actually leaving. So taking down maybe even 2 towers here. Grim Reaper FSF not being able to take him down, and yeah, Solo Nazgul takes down 2 towers just by kind of dancing around the subject there. Oh, but Zagara is in trouble and goes down as we have 3 moving to the top. A gank squad of their own for Wild Growth.
Yeah, now you notice here comes the gank squad. They're coming for Jimmy. There goes the pull from Kerrigan. He's stunned. He's double stunned. He's rooted, and now he's dead. That is the gank squad. Uther, Arthas, and Kerrigan wrecking. And you can notice just by the experience leads that it's already making a difference.
Yeah, they're moving so fast back and forth. They're not giving a moment to breathe or know where they are between these top and bottom lanes. Even we are having trouble focusing on which action is most important because there's so much of it. And that, like you said, that Dragon Knight, although the first one is sometimes neglected because it's not that strong, it was decisive that they got that Dragon Knight.
Because this is an early game gank squad designed to get ahead in the game. It's pivotal. They're going to miss some soak. It's inevitable. So it's pivotal that they actually secure some of those picks. And so far, they're doing it. They're still ahead in experience just because of those kills and the fact that they got that Dragon Knight so early. They've got the level 7 talents, and that is crucial.
Yeah, like you mentioned, also important that they're getting structures. Structures do give quite a bit of an experience, and so if they're going to neglect soak, getting kills as well as getting structures are going to be their top priority, and like you said, they are doing that. We see them hitting, again, the bot lane, Kerrigan doing work to this tower, Arthas doing work to the other tower, and Michael Udall sitting in the back making sure that they don't get in too much trouble.
The tower is going to go down, and they're just going to continue to pull further ahead. Notice that while Arthas doesn't get Envenom, Sylvanas does, and that's in 2 Envenoms on Sylvanas and Kerrigan, 2 members of the gank squad to just help them further be able to burn people down quickly when they grab somebody.
Wow, this is really cool. I did not expect a 4-person gank squad, but if it's going to work anywhere, Dragonshire is a great place to make it work. You can see how easily they can bounce between mid and bottom lanes, and that mobility gives them, again, this advantage for the Dragon Knight, where their opponents don't know which one to defend against, and they can send 2 members of the gank squad, notably, again, Kerrigan and Arthas, up here against Jimmy. They can take him right down, and again, grab the Dragon Knight as soon as they're able to get the top shrine. Now, that may be trouble, because there are 3 members of Wild Growth up there, and they don't want to let Zagara take that shrine.
Whew, Vala just barely vaults over the grasping blades of Psalm. And is it going to be able to get away? And once again, they have top shrine, and Nazgul is so ready. Vala's going to try to throw some bolts there, but it's not going to be able to last too long. Jordo's jumping in. They really want to get Akaface. They want to be able to get a gank of their own. Now Nazgul taking a lot of damage. They are going to push them away, and Diablo picking up the bottom shrine does give them a little bit of breathing room, but Kappa Wolves doing exactly what they need to with this comp, which is to not let up. Consistent attacks, and now they're level 10. They're going to pull Kiryu Zion in. Nope, he's going to be able to walk away just in the nick of time, and they're going to have to stay a little bit passive here as we have heroic abilities up for the team Kappa Wolves.
Yeah, Zagara unfortunately missing with that Maw, but the top shrine will be taken for Wild Growth. So as we're looking at Wild Growth and what strategy they need to employ here, they're dealing with this 4-man gank squad. They can't go up against that 4-man gank squad with 2 people and expect to win. So what they either need to do is group up against that gank squad or take advantages where the gank squad is not. They don't seem to be doing that much of either of those, except for with this top shrine here. They are making sure that Zagara doesn't take that, which is very smart of them because they really don't want another dragon shrine happening.
Illidan's going to try really hard to get this fan, but once again, because she's on creep, she's able to get away. Yeah, it's so important that they could be able to... Oh, actually, Jordo's going to be the one to go down. He tries to jump over, but it's not going to work. And now Illidan's down, and Sharonda and Ray are going to have to back away. Diablo is taking this bottom shrine, but here's the problem with why it's so effective, this gank squad's so effective, is that Dragon Shrine forces you to be in not full groups because of the way the shrines work. And I totally agree. Now that they've got level 10, Wild Growth just needs to group up, stay together, stay around one shrine, keep one shrine, and kill people. And now they're trying to catch Solo Nazgul, kill Collusion, doing a great job of body blocking him just to death.
Yeah.
Syndragosa is going to go down, deals a lot of damage, but Grim Reaper's going to be healed. They're still trying to take down Solo Nazgul. He finally gets it, but they all took a lot of damage. Now Michael Udall and Som take a lot of damage. They're going to pick up the Kerrigan, and this is what they needed to do, the grouping up until they can take some people out.
Yeah, that is a really good demonstration of what we were just talking about, where if they are all 5 together, they actually are pretty strong, and they're not necessarily behind in terms of team fight. They're both at the same talent level and everything like that, but being spread out as long as they were did not make sense for them. I know they were trying to soak experience, they were trying to keep shrines, but that didn't do them any favors as they are just 1 level behind in experience still, and really you could feel the momentum going not in their favor.
What's important to note too is throughout all of this, Zagara has been constantly pushing top by herself. And grouping up together is going to force them to either say, okay, we're going to have to disengage from this whenever the team comes to us and let Zagara push, or Zagara is going to need to group up with them because they can't take a 4-on-5 engagement. It's just not something that you generally want to do in Heroes. It's so risky. And so that's what we're going to see is the grouping up. While we have a minute of breathing room, I'm going to try to get through all of the heroics. We've got Lightning Breath, Rain of Vengeance, Metamorphosis, Starfall, and Ancestral Healing. You've been seeing quite a bit of those, as well as Syndragosa, Divine Shield, Devouring Maw, Wailing Arrow, and Summon Ultralisk. So we're probably going to be trying to see them use the Syndragosa and Maw in conjunction to just try to keep people rooted down and staying, so that they can't get away from the damage that they're putting out. And there's going to be engagement on bottom. There goes the Syndragosa. Metamorphosis is coming in. He's going to be going after Kerrigan, but has to disengage. Instead, opting for the Sylvanas, getting a lot of damage on her, but he's out of place now and instantly just gets pulled in and killed before he can even be healed. Now Collusion's trying to get Som. Oh, but a clutch Maw actually is going to pick up both Tyrande and Vala, and that's going to be it. Diablo's going to go down. He does have souls, so he's going to be right back up. But with that, that is going to mean that both shrines now are going for the Kappa Wolves.
Such skilled play being shown by the Kappa Wolves in that engagement, because Diablo was in a great position. Diablo was forcing them to focus on him, and they realized, you know, we don't want to be hitting Diablo. We don't care about this fight if Diablo is going to be the one we're going after. They backed off, tempted Illidan to come back out. Once they picked Illidan off, Diablo was then out of position and all of that. So really good patience being played, and then Zagara coming and joining them at the last second, really tipping the scales in their favor. Really great engagement for them in what could have been a very strong fight for Wild Growth if they had been more hungry.
Exactly, and another thing to note, of course, Sylvanas is keeping these structures from being able to attack, which means that they're just going to be doing even more damage, while the Dragon Knight is basically scot-free at this point. But during that last engagement, while Diablo was in a great position, they didn't have the level 13 talents, and that's something that Kappa Wolves had. They have been keeping a good lead on the experience this entire time, and that makes it very difficult for Wild Growth to try to engage in.
Yeah, something that you can kind of think about too on Dragonshire. As Collusion gets punted, it looks like we may have a little bit of an engagement. Okay, not. But something you can think about is that you don't necessarily have to have people standing in lanes and soaking. If you're moving back and forth quick enough, you can get soaked just from being there and then not being in there and then being there and not being there. And of course, structures and kills like these are going to give you experience as well. Blythehawk going down to Syndragosa with the Maw going around 3 people. chewing down Kill You Zion, and we're just screaming because there's so much action going on. Grim Reaper SF getting very low, but managing to get away behind the well in time. But again, a decisive victory for the Kappa Wolves.
That Ma, I want to take a look at Tyranda's build really fast. Going for both a Celestial Attunement and Overflowing Light, really focusing on those heals. You can tell they feel like they really need double heals there, but they're just not staying alive, and now they're 3 levels down. Level 16 talents are out for Kappa Wolves, but Wild Growth still only has their level 13 ones. They're like, guys, we just picked these talents up. Can't you give us a break? No.
No breaks for you. Now, interesting to note, though, the top gate, bottom gate are still intact. That are holding into the inner sanctum here for Wild Growth, and so they do have a modicum of safety. They're not totally exposed yet, but what do you think they're going to need to do to bring this experience back up if they want to get back in this game and get their level 16 talents, or even, you know, their level 20 talents at any time near the Kappa Wolves?
Catch someone out of position, play very, very safe, don't get caught out of position, and if there's a team fight, win it. But that's going to be, they really got to catch people out of position, since the level 16 talents are so crucial, and that's something they don't have yet. They need to get to 16 and then probably force an engagement that they can win. And from there, win the team fights until they can get caught up, because it's going to just be an uphill battle as long as they're behind in talents.
But you're right, they can't extend far, so they can't really do much in terms of getting mercenaries if the Kappa Wolves are in those same places. Now the Dragon Shrine has spawned, and they're going to want those, but again, they're pushed so far back, you can see how much blue is on this map. They really do have to kind of turtle up and defend, but that means that another Dragon Knight might be coming their way. And structures do yield experience, so we may see an ever-widening experience gap here in favor of Kappa Wolves.
They knew that Kappa Wolves would be separating, so this is actually a great play. They're going after Akaface. They want to try to catch him. That would have been huge to catch. Unfortunately, Uther had a lot of stuns and stuff, but they've at least stopped the Dragon Knight, and so this is good. If they all stick together and actually just grab shrines and then try to get away, they're going to be coming after the Somno. They're going to grab her, and Grim Reaper is probably, yep, she's going to go down so fast. Rhaegar not able to save her. They should have just went together maybe as Shrine and then immediately backed out, or tried to get the pick with all together. But they had to deal with the fact that they had mercs constantly forcing into their base, and now there's a Dragon Knight bearing down on their keep.
Yeah, the Dragon Knight just happened behind all of that. There wasn't much they could do. This bottom lane is going to go down before the Dragon Knight even gets there. Dragon Knight is going to be pushing in mid, so they're going to split Wild Growth between the two. Wild Growth not knowing which way to turn, deciding to go for the Dragon Knight so that they may not get picked off by the rest of the team down here in the bottom lane. But they will lose their structures to this.
Look at the keeps go down in basically stereo vision here. Mid keep goes down and bot's right behind it. Collusion's going in, trying to engage. Here comes Vola's Reign of Vengeance. Does catch a lot of people, and Kerrigan will go down thanks to a good lightning breath. Now they're back up. The Dragon Knight's about down, but Collusion's, oh my goodness, right out of position. Gonna actually throw Solo Nazgul to get out of his way, but here comes Cindergosa. Everybody is slow. Jordo's gonna go down, and Solo Nazgul's on the chase, but he's low too. Watch out, Arthas, get away! And now Arcaface is going to be the next one to get very low. He will go down thanks to the Earth Grasp Totem. Fam will be the next one to go down. This is what they needed. They're going to try to pick up Sylvanas as well. She's going to try to Banshee away. She's Bansheed away now, so she's actually got her escape down. They're trying to do everything they can. Whoa. There's the throw. There's the catch. They've got the Sylvanas, and only Arthas remains from that push.
That control from Diablo being so important there, being able to pick off that last Sylvanas, that really kind of cements the victory for them in terms of this phase of the game. They're going to be able to catch up now by grabbing some mercenaries, pushing these lanes back out, getting some time to breathe. The kill timers at this point in the game are very long, so they have some time to really make this count. Now they're only one experience level behind, which may bring them back into striking distance, although they have a long way to go, as look at the structures of Kappa Wolves. They are basically untouched. if not completely untouched.
They're going to have to do that again and again, that fight. But that was the perfect time they possibly could fight. They needed to get an engagement like that before Kappa Wolves got 20. They're about to get 20 now. They're going to have it, and then they're going to not want to engage. And so that was the perfect time for them to win an engagement. Now they need to get 20 and then win more. Win them all at this point. They have to win them all.
Just keep winning, and then you might win.
Just don't lose, and you will win. Yes.
Now the Bruiser's going to the Kappa Wolves down here in the bottom, so they're looking for more advantages. They are going to hit level 20, so they are looking for a fight at this point. But they're spread out a little bit, not quite the gank squad they had before. Wild Growth, having learned their lesson, they are all together now, wanting to make sure that they defend. They know that this next push is going to be crucial. They have to defend it. They have to not let any picks go down, and they have to get picks of their own, like you said, winning all of these team fights.
Killusion's going to actually push Arthas out into position so that people can do a lot of damage, but he's Arthas. He's such a tough one to target. He is the tank. Jordo actually waiting to go in until people get a little bit lower. Now Grim Reaper's taking a lot of damage though, and she's going to barely survive. Actually, how did they get Sam? They kept her alive. Solo Nazgul, though, doing work on her, is going to eventually catch her, but they're going to catch him too. And now Jordo and Killusion are back out of the Maw, and they're running after Fam. And once again, they're going to pick up the favorable side of that engagement. They're going to have to go back, though. They've got Mercs on the base, but they're going to try to get this Dragon Knight right here. A late game Dragon Knight, we've seen it. It can do so much damage, but actually, they might be getting too greedy here because Sylvanas and Fam are in here. They're after Jimmy, who really just wants to keep this shrine, but he's going to have to get out. He cannot afford to die here. He's going to have to heal himself up. He doesn't even have his heal. Now, Jordo is jumping in. He's going to do a lot of damage, but he's going to have to get out too because there's Uther. Everyone's coming down. They want this Dragon Knight so much. They really want to get it there. They're finally pushing away the Kappa Wolves, but will they be able to get the dragon in time? That's the key.
I don't think they will, Gilly. I mean, we've got 3 members of Kappa Wolves here in the mid, so even if they manage to keep these shrines, I don't think they have the power right now to fight against them in the mid while they're still defending against their base. 3 members of Wild Growth are in the base. And at this point, as we see the rest of Kappa Wolves spawning, both teams are at 20. So at this point, maybe engagement would be more fair, but it's definitely going to be about an engagement. Now that said, I mean, this is quite the comeback. This is exactly what you told them to do, and they're doing it.
Thank you for listening to me. Thank you. They do. They have their level 20 talents. They're staying by a shrine. They know that to get the Dragon Knight, they need this shrine. But here is the problem. There is such an opening for Kappa Wolves still to be a little crazy and risky, and they can do that. They can still lose fights. Here comes Collusion. Som's jumping in, trying to get that Vala. The Rain of Vengeance does get dropped. Ma only grabs the Tyrande, but Collusion is going down very quickly. They're trying to keep him alive so that can do a lot of damage, and it is. It takes out Kerrigan. Akaface is so close, so is Solo Nazgul. They're going to maybe be able to take him out, but no, there goes Zagara, though, and Solo Nazgul's trying to get away. Meanwhile, Jordo is not giving up the chase. He's after Akaface. He gets the kill. Sylvanas is going to run away, too, and again, guys, again, they're doing it.
Wow. I mean, this is the little engine that could here. And I think Kappa Wolves is kind of scratching their head going like, wait, what? This looks like it's going to be a Dragon Knight for Wild Growth, which is absolutely the thing they need. Like you said, they have to do so much damage to structures. There are so many walls between them and the core, and there are none between Kappa Wolves and their core.
But look how much damage one axe hit does to a structure at this point. Look at the fort drop. Look at it go!
I am amazed. I mean, right now, Wild Growth is knowing how hard they have to push for this win because they don't have a lot of other advantages, and they would have to fight hard for another advantage like this, so they've got to take real advantage of it. Kappa Wolves knows it too, and they're trying to get in position, but 2 of their teammates are still down. This structure will go down as well, and they have a free road to the core. They're not going to take it, though. They're not going to be greedy. They're going to fall back. They're going to make sure that they use all their advantages, which they now have an experience lead. Although their core is at 92% and exposed, they're in a much better position than I expected them to be able to be. Yeah,
the power of the comeback in Heroes, but they still, every time they get an advantage, they have to go back and clear out their base. clear out their base. Keep watching their base. Winions are a real thing. We've seen a game completely, a team completely lose to Winions, and Collusion actually is caught out here. Every stun is going down. They want this kill. They're going to pick up the Diablo, who does not have souls. Their tank is down for 60 seconds, and that Dragon Knight is over. It's gone. They're at the last keep. They're going to take the last keep, and the Syndra Ghost is coming in. This would be a miracle hold right here.
I mean, we've seen some miracles, so I'm not going to write them off, but Collusion has got to be face-palming pretty hard right now.
Oh man, Akafa's taking a lot of damage. Actually, everyone moving away. Nazgul's standing right in the Starfall, but the Starfall's over now. Jordo's jumping in. He wants that Kerrigan. He knows that that would be so good. They actually get a stun on Zagara, but Zagara's able to blink away. Now Jordo is just going to try to continue the fight. He does take out Arthas, but no, Jordo, no! Blythawk and Grim Reaper not able to really do anything, and now, because of the silence, ooh, wow. Clutch blink there does get away, but still keeping them off the core, which is the important thing.
What a defense. 90% still on the core. They only lost 6% with that push, which is what we thought looked like it might be a killing blow. So the tenacity of Wild Growth really showing here as Diablo comes back up. Illidan is down for 36 seconds until they will have a full team, but we also see... What? Oh no.
Oh no, that's what I thought he was gonna do. He's gonna push in. They're going to try to go for it. There goes the lightning breath, and he's dealing so much damage. There goes Akaface. Fam is going to be next. He's getting Jimmy on him. He's going to blink away, but Jimmy's on the chase, and he is a wolf that's angry, and he takes him out. There goes Zagara. Michael Udall with a bit of an awesome blink there, and Som is coming up behind. They're gonna pick up Grim Reaper. They need to heal her, but there's no heals left. But only Arthas and Sylvanas remain. Vala and Vala's just the one that's down. There goes Sylvanas. Arthas, you're by yourself, friend. You're by yourself, and now you're the one who has to have the miracle defense.
I am so impressed. Wild Growth now wailing on the core. Solo Nazgul, the only one who can defend and not doing much damage to these people. Although Blythawk getting dangerously low, gonna have to get out of the way. If Blythawk goes down, that's going to be a real detriment to this war effort here. Collusion pushing Solo Nazgul out of the way. Blythawk safely getting to the side. Illidan coming to join the fight. Jordo is here as well. Lightning Breath going down on the core. Collusion being willing to die for that damage that he put on the core. Jordo with the Metamorphosis. Solo Nazgul chasing him around the core, but Jordo is going to be able to do enough damage before dying to take this core down, and the game will go to Wild Growth.
Oh my god!
Comeback is real!
That was a game worth waiting for, my friends. Worth waiting for. What?
But I actually had many points in that game where you were speaking, Gilly, and the audience couldn't see me, but my mouth popped open and hung open in surprise. I've been watching esports a long time, and let me tell you, that doesn't happen very often. I ended the game like this, with my hands
I
on
know,
my
I was
head.
like this too.
That was great. And that is a really good example of so many things that we talk about in Heroes. One of them being the surrender option.
Don't need it.
If there was
Don't
a surrender
need it.
option in that game, things may have gone differently. Also, the whole concept of a snowball. They were in dire straits and they were able to come back. I mean, the momentum was absolutely on the side of Kappa Wolves, and then it wasn't.
I
am so impressed. I'm a little sad because I was super into the whole 4-man gank squad, Kerrigan Arthas resurgence, which absolutely was strong. It certainly could have won. It's not like it was proven wrong by any means, but the tenacity of Wild Growth just really showing what can be cool about this game.
Yeah, man, I'm speechless. I'm actually like heart pounding, shaking a little. That could be because I drank a ton of Diet Dr. Pepper.
You did drink a lot of Dr. Pepper.
But I was just like, what is even, I was like off the chair at the end. I'm really glad that you actually had taken that so I could just be like, yelling in the background.
Dude, the sacrifice on Diablo having the foresight to say, it's okay that I die. I'm just going to stand here and breathe fire on on the core, and then Jordo, you go ahead and ult, and you're going to be able to pick up the rest. It's fine that I die. That mathematical mind of those players was just so good. Now looking at the damage, I mean, what does this damage tell us, Gilly? Because I'm looking at 100,000 siege damage on 3 different heroes on Wild Growth, as well as on 3 different heroes on Kappa Wolves.
I think that does include Dragon Knight. So that might be why the numbers are pretty high, but yeah, just a ton of damage. Very, very close game, too.
It's amazing how much siege damage I'm seeing for Wild Growth, considering how few structures they had. I mean, their core was open to attack before they had done any siege damage.
Yeah,
structural damage.
That's true. All the forts were still up. And they just held and held and held and waited and were patient and did not get salty, didn't go on tilt, just waited and bided their time, knew exactly what they needed to do and did it and won the game because of that. And man, props to Wild Growth there, because that was an epic comeback.
There's so many lessons to be learned on both sides here too, because I would dare say that Kappa Wolves had a fantastic, you know, grasp on their positioning and where they should be at all times, but I don't know, I'm not in their heads, but I would dare say that they maybe got a little bit confident in those few team fights that really were the turn of the game, because Wild Growth came in and it was do or die. They had to win these team fights, and there were about, you know, 3 in a row that really were the turning point, where Kappa Wolves just didn't look as decisive as they had in that early game.
And the moment that really scared me was the moment that you were talking and I was like making probably all sorts of weird random like sounds was because they went for those bruisers. It was so risky. They knew that both teams had 4 people up, but it was on the side of the Wild Growth, and they were fresher. They had just healed up and everything, and so I was just so scared. I knew they were going to wait until they took damage from the bruisers, and then Diablo was going to charge in. That's exactly what he did. He laid down the breath, and not only they picked up the bruisers, but that's when they picked up kills. They had the chase from there. They have the ultimate chaser in Illidan. They just chased him down, took him out, and that was it. And I was like, no, that's scary. Don't take those bruisers.
Oh my gosh, what a great game. It is so awesome to see great finals games here in the HeroesHype Amateur Series. I feel like we've been seeing that a lot.
Yeah, with this probably being my new favorite, although we've had some amazing ones for sure.
This can inspire, you know, like, this is applicable to life. This is the never give up game. This is where you look at this and you say, you can feel like everything's against you and there's no way you could possibly come back from the disadvantage you're at in life. But if you just keep doing what you know you need to do and fight with your entire heart, you could reach your goals.
That is so deep.
And it's true. That's what heroes can teach us this week. Thanks to the HeroesHype Amateur Series.
Literally, never give up, never surrender, because you actually cannot.
Nope, it's not possible actually in this game.
Cannot.
There, so.
Right. Well, thank you so much for casting that with me, Anna. It was an honor. It was so much fun. Thank you, Finn, for also joining us for a couple games too, and getting his casting debut in Heroes. It was great to cast with him too. Thank you guys so much for hanging out, and to the teams who played. And finally, thank you to HeroesHype. Where can people find HeroesHype, Anna?
People should absolutely, this is like the easiest part, because you see right down there in the, like right below the screen, there's this purple button that says follow. Easiest way to support HeroesHype, just click that button, then you'll know when they go live, when they do HeroesHype Amateur Series or anything else they might be streaming. You can also find them on Twitter at Heroes_Hype. They do all sorts of things, not just the HeroesHype Amateur Series, but one of the most useful things that I've found in Heroes is they do a newsletter that'll kind of break down all the happenings of Heroes of the Storm in that week. And also Gilly and I do a video version of that newsletter each week as well. If you don't like reading, some of us really like to see things and hear things as opposed to read them. So You can use our video for that. We do that for them. They give all sorts of great resources, and they've just been a driving force in making this community as productive and as friendly as it is. I really think that they're a fantastic place for people to hang out and be connected. So I would really recommend being involved and thanking Miss Honey, who heads up Heroes Hype, and gave Gilly and I the chance to have our casting debut a few weeks ago and to learn as much as we have about casting, as that's been a huge goal of ours since we started our show, Eye on the Storm.
Oh yeah, I look forward to Wednesdays every week. It's my favorite day of the week because we get to cast this. I get so excited to cast this no matter how grumpy I am or how crappy my day is. By the time we get to this point, I am so happy and excited because I am just very thankful that we get to cast this. Guys, if you want to follow me and all of my adventures, I stream Heroes every weekday at 3 p.m. Central Time on twitch.tv/gillyweedsc2. And also, of course, you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube at gillyweedsc2 as well. And then also, Anna and I host this really awesome weekly community show on twitch.tv/missclicks, and that's where you can check out. It's called Eye on the Storm, and we always bring on guests and talk about different things happening in the hero scene.
And tomorrow we decided that because we never get to do this, we're just going to play Heroes together. Because we never get to. We just get to talk to people and play and watch and analyze. So tomorrow is just playtime. Eye on the Storm playtime. So you should come watch us. Yes, we're really excited about that. If you want to follow me personally, and if you want the answer to the most important question that most people in chat ever ask me, which is, who is that guy playing behind Anna? You can find out by going to twitter.com/AnnaProsser and hitting follow. You'll probably figure out who he is. You can also find me on twitch.tv/AnnaProsser, where there is a command in my chat to answer that question. So don't worry, someone will let you know what the answer to that question is. I am going to be on that show tomorrow with Gilly. I also do a lot of things on Misclicks, that channel as well, where we do a lot for uplifting and providing support for female role models in geek and gaming culture. I'm looking forward to hanging out with you, doing more hero stuff. I'm also involved with Heroes of the Dorm, which is this awesome collegiate tournament that's going on with Blizzard and TESPA for Heroes of the Storm. An entire college tuition for 5 people is on the line, which is pretty amazing. But the cool thing, if you're not in college, is that you can fill out a fantasy bracket and you can win 10K if your fantasy bracket wins the most points. So I just filled out my fantasy bracket. You should go to heroesofthedorm.com and fill out yours because I'm going to kick your butt.
Oh, shots fired.
Gauntlet thrown.
Well, while you do that, and then we'll be back here next week. Thank you guys so much for hanging out, and we will see you soon here at the Heroes Hype Amateur Series. Good night.